Hello friends, welcome to Christian Content Videos. My name is Prasanna Jangam. I'm a Christian Apologist. Today I'm going to be preaching from the content series, and topic that I'll be speaking on today is types of content preaching. To begin with, content rate is measured in time percentage, which means what time of explanation or how many minutes of explanation or how many seconds of explanation or how many hours of explanation does a sermon consist out of the entire sermon. I had the privilege of studying at a Bible college in the USA for 2 years. I've listened to many preachers, professors, saints, missionaries, pastors, leaders, apologists, teachers, evangelists, and others who preach the word. From what I've learned, from what I've found, there's only one core preaching style of content, which is preaching content only, which is maintaining at least 80% of the content preaching time in the entire sermon. It may be in any voice, it may be in any accent, and the rest work hard to be like it, sound like it, look like it. Not everyone gets to become a contented preacher with good content rate, like more than 30%, more than 40%, more than 50% content rate. So the people do the best they can, and after that, whatever they get to, they go on with that content time percent. Hopefully we will all evolve to the maximum content percent that we can get to. Content preachings also have different types of preachings, because not everyone is equipped with the same percent of content rate. So if you watch my video, what is content preaching, you know that maintaining at least 40 contented sentences makes one a contented preacher. At least 15 minutes out of a 50-minute sermon time should be of explanation or speaking on or breaking down the contented sentences. That's a contented preaching. That's where content preaching begins actually. And from 30% on, that is 15 minutes out of 50 minutes is 30% of content time. And past 30%, there is still 30% to 100% content time that can be achieved, content time percentage that can be achieved, that can be got to. I'm not sure if anyone's able to bring in 100% content time and maintain thickness as he furthers throughout the sermon. But 80% content time, I would say, is the core and ultimate content percent time. If someone's 80% contented in a sermon, and in every sermon he or she preaches, that person has put in at least 30 to 40,000 hours of preparation, at least 15-20 years of preparation, consistent preparation. I'm going to name different content types within the content preaching bracket. The highest levels, at the levels past 50% content rate, 70% content rate, and 80% content rate, the viscosity, the thickness of the sentences increases even compared to the 30%, the 40 sentences minimum requirement to become a contented preacher level also. It's like completely into hitting hard on the subject, putting your weight on, putting yourself, it is the heaviness of the man of God being put on people's minds, people's lives, and bless them and change their lives forever. In the core content rate preaching, which is past 80% content time preaching, you will see that every sentence has content packed into it. For example, if there is one thing that can be explained in 1,000 words, it should be deducted to 2 sentences or 1 sentence or 1 long sentence, and should be able to convey everything that those 1,000 sentences convey, and make it simple and easy to understand. But at the same time, it is obvious for people to understand that it is almost impossible to get to that level, to get to that understanding. So it's about jamming content, jamming explanation into the previous sentence, stacking as much as possible into the previous sentences, building on previous sentences, continuing further heavily sentence after sentence. It's a different level, it's a different life, different game altogether. People of that realm are all about bringing out the meaty and the raw, pure, heavy meat of the Word of God and serve people with the best and the most nutritious food they can be served. And also, this is the most attractive, most effective and crowd pulling way of preaching. As this series is mainly for those who want to get into ministry and those who are preparing for ministry in the future, aim to become like a core contented, a true heavyweight content time percentage containing preacher. The types of content preachers can be measured, the types of content preachings can be measured by the percentage of their content time. There are 10% or less than 10% content preachers, 20% content preachers, or 10 to 20% content preachers, or 20 and above to 30% content preachers, likewise 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, 90% and above, 200% and 100% contented preachers. As I have said, though if someone has 70% of non-content and 30% of content in a preaching, he or she can still be called a contented preacher, because that's where a content level begins. For example, if someone's preaching for 50 minutes, at least 15% of that person's preaching should contain continuous explanation, at least 40 sentences of continuous content, or deductible contented points or sentences throughout the sermon. As I've said, past 30% of content time is where content preaching actually begins, with the basic level. That's the lowest level of a contented preaching. Hopefully I'll make a video on the different types and different levels of contented preachings, but these are the names of the different levels of contented preachings past 30%. They are a level that one can get to with a lot of hard work, and another level is almost impossible to get to if someone pursues it part-time, and the other level is one has to completely commit their life and their complete time of their life to get to that kind of level. And after that, more than 20 years of consistent preparation and a lifetime work level. And the next level is almost impossible unless it's an exception, or once in a century, or once in more than a century type of content percentage and content level. Hopefully, so these are the different types of content levels in content preaching. Because things have changed today, things are very different today from the past, like in the times of our seniors who are ministering today, like for more than 10 years, more than 15 years, more than 20 years now. We have information to access. That's a good thing, but at the same time, what's not something that works for us is that all the people are informed, all the people have access to information, and that's not a good thing if someone's a non-contented preacher or a contentless preacher. So if you are a wannabe preacher, wannabe minister, make sure you put in that time and make sure you get yourself contented at least to 30% of content time. I can remember back in the day, in the years 2012 to 2015, I've listened to preachers talk about people asking preachers, what kind of spiritual gifts do you have, or how many different spiritual gifts do you have, or how many different spiritual gifts do you operate in, just to evaluate the man of God, evaluate the weight of the man of God, or maybe whether to consider to invite them to an event or not, or invite him or her to their place, to their church, to their congregation, to their youth group, to their business place to speak or to pray or to advise or counsel. Today, because the things have changed because of technology, it is possible in the coming days, at least from 2025, people will be looking at a preacher's content percent. Even it may not be surprising to find out that people will be asking a preacher's content percent to whether lend their ear to listen to him or her, or to whether invite him or her to their place to preach or pray or counsel. Maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe it was a different thing, but today, these days, it definitely seems possible. And 5 years later, 3 years later, it's definitely a possibility. And if that happens, I would not be surprised for sure. So friends, these are the different types of content preachings. Please like and share this video. If you are new here or if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, please make sure you subscribe to this channel and click on the bell icon to get notified whenever I post a new thing. Thank you for watching this video. God bless us all.